Thank you for watching another video in the Servant of the Lord series. Today our attention is turned to Isaiah chapter 53 verses 8 and 9, and it's going to be chapter 12 in the book. We saw yesterday that the servant was willing to die, willing to suffer. And of course, as we already know, this ends in his death. Again, we see in the beginning, he shall act wisely, he shall be high, lifted up, and exalted. You would think the story does not involve death, but it does. The servant of the Lord would die. And we see that in Isaiah 53, 8 and 9. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living? That's an expression in the Hebrew which means death, cut off from the land of the living. Stricken for the transgression of my people. Again, we have penal substitutionary atonement. They made his grave with the wicked. Yeah, he died. You bury people who die. And with a rich man in his death. And then his innocence is brought up again, although he had done no violence and there was no deceit in his mouth. The death of the Messiah is not new or unique to Isaiah 53. In Daniel chapter 9, it also says that the Messiah would be cut off and shall have nothing. An expression that means death. But his death is not that all surprising. The reason he dies is what surprises everyone. Who considered it? Like, who considered back then is what these people are saying in the future. Who considered what we were doing? That we were killing him, killing our Messiah, killing the servant of the Lord. There are some today that would deny this whole doctrine. But again, the wages of sin is death. Without Jesus dying, without the servant of the Lord dying, there cannot be a full payment of sin. The lamb that was offered up on Passover year after year after year died. They just didn't collect the blood from the lamb. The lamb had to die. The soul that sins shall die. He's cut off out of the land of the living. And this is what we all deserve, isn't it? We all deserve death. We all deserve to die. Because that's who we are, sinners. But here's the glorious truth. Jesus died on our behalf. Jesus was cut off out of the land of the living so that we don't have to. Jesus died willingly, suffered willingly, was buried with the wicked. Which, by the way, that happened to Jesus. He was crucified next to two thieves. His death was associated with the wicked? Yeah. And he was buried with a rich man? Remember, he was given Joseph of Arimathea's tomb. Again, it's almost as if Isaiah hopped in a time machine, saw all this happen, came back and wrote about it. But it's even better than that. Better than a time machine is God the Holy Spirit inspiring these words through the prophet. Because God the Holy Spirit knows what will happen to the Lord's servant. So yeah, the servant of the Lord died for us. Although he had done no violence and no deceit in his mouth. Just like as there had to be an innocent lamb that was offered for Passover, so there was an innocent and perfect and spotless lamb offered up on the cross for our sin. Until tomorrow, thanks for watching.